My brain's splitting off in so many different directions. My brain's splitting off in so many different. My brain's splitting off in so many different directions that no one has the answers to. So many different. My dad was a shrink. Certain things upset me. And my dad was a shrink. Certain things upset me. And my dad was a shrink. Certain things upset me. What's the furthest star, and then what's beyond the furthest star? What's the furthest star, and then what's beyond the furthest star? What's the furthest star, and then what's beyond the furthest star? Questions that no one has the answers to.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, where we talk about X-Statix. Gary, how are you today?
Doing well. First sesh after Duckstream.
We had a very successful Duckstream.
Yeah, successful Duckstream. Thanks everybody who tuned in to watch us live.
Yeah.
Do this show and do other stuff.
Sorry that the Days of Future Cast segment was a little abbreviated and we had to just randomly talk about TV shows that we didn't know because New Mutants does not hold up to great scrutiny, apparently.
And we could have gone moment by moment through the New Mutants, but really, did you know that someday you will die?
Yeah.
And like every moment is precious.
Every single
I just found
moment
that
is
out,
precious.
and
yeah,
holy shit, guys!
Have you heard about
we're
this?
Fucked.
This mortality
Yeah.
thing?
Have you heard the bad news? Yeah. Thanks everybody who tuned in and donated, though.
Yeah, we very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a turnout for everybody. Like serious props to all of the Duckfeed people, like you and Cole and Nick and Will and Brayton and Jala and everybody else that's a part of that did stuff. Like it's just it's just awesome to watch from the sidelines. So
yeah, you and Gwen also taking
me and Gwen. Yeah, we
individual shifts
came through
as well. Because Cole needs a lot extra sleep.
he specifically said in the email when he sent out to schedule that, he was like, "I know we were doing shifts, so I don't actually need this, but I want you guys to have the opportunity." And I'm like, "All right, Cole, like it's okay to want sleep."
I'm just teasing him. I know that he would be fine with 12 hours.
Oh yeah,
of sleep. I like to tease my boy.
He's your boy,
you know?
And you like to tease, so I'm into it.
Yeah, he's like some brother energy.
Mm-hmm.
Your
brother and I, the new podcast.
my brother and my brother is me. We're talking about issue 7
yes.
of X-Statix. This is Moons of Venus Part 2, the good guy, bad guy.
Yep.
Arc.
So somebody has broken in to the X Mansion, stolen a bunch of Professor Xavier suits. We think that it is Guy Smith. It probably isn't. And we left off at a cliffhanger where the X-Statix team is fighting them, and Venus de Milo has a shot to take bad guy out, but hesitates, which is bad because the bad guy is about to kill Anarchist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we pick it up from right there. Cover seems to be like just a basic kind of cover, nothing real exciting, like just people falling. Right? Like nothing.
Just this falling through space.
Yeah, just I don't. Maybe there's a trampoline
falling onto Hollywood.
I don't know.
I didn't even think about the fact that they could be on a super fun trampoline,
right?
Like the
I mean, they got the
house,
Hollywood sign, so like not the Hollywood sign, but a Hollywood sign right there. So like that's good. Like they're probably a
Professor Xavier's bounce house for gifted youngsters.
I love it, dude. Imagine. I bet he's got a trampoline house in there, right? Like. Dude, how much better would Cannonball have been in a room full of like just straight up trampolines? Like it would have been way less harmful to his body to stop blasting like that. So.
Non-vulnerable when I'm having a blast.
We're gonna pick up right where we left off with bad guy about to smash Anarchist and Venus de Milo being frozen in indecision.
Yeah, part of the retro style of this book is they do the cliffhangers and then like do the recap like a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying there she's not sure, she can't do it if it's Guy. Xavier and Spike Freeman are watching. Xavier is going and Spike Freeman is saying no, like you have to take him out. That's not Guy Smith. That's bad Guy Smith. He's turned. But she can't do it.
That Xavier is watching, by the way. Like, what is this, like a weird like Wii U situation? Like, is this a Wii U that has the mutant gene on it? Like, what are we doing with this bottom screen, big screen?
That is a gamer monitor if I've ever seen one.
Right? Like, he's probably sitting in a chair right now and like has on the bottom screen has like Belle Delphine on Switch, right? Like, that's what he's doing. Top contributor, Professor X.
So she can't do it.
Yeah,
she can't take the shot. But right before Tyke gets taken out, he kind of like saves himself, and also Dead Girl decides to save him.
Yes. And Dead Girl is able to, even though her arm is being torn off, she's able to slash bad guy across the face with her claws, her coffin claws, her tombstone talons. Cold shivering graffito from the home of the grave and the land of the freezing. All right, girl.
Yep.
Look, if you have a Dead Girl aesthetic, right? Like, lean into it. Like, go for it.
I would 100%. Ultimate goth GF. Need
a goth girlfriend could text me through the Ouija board.
The important thing here is Dead Girl hurts him.
Yes. Slashes him across the face.
And it works. He screams out in pain and runs away. This is the first time they've actually been able to hurt him.
Yeah.
And the team has it out. Like, hey, what the hell was that about?
Yeah, Tyke kind of dresses down Venus for like, hey, I'm the acting leader of this team. Like, you need to be on board with what we're doing, or else like none of this works. And of course, everybody is like piling on and basically accusing her of being in love with Guy and not willing to do what is necessary because of that relationship, and kind of teases her about like, have you even are you lovers? Have you even done the deed? And this is so stressful to her that she freaks out and she teleports, and she like not just teleport, she explodes and kind of knocks everybody down.
Yeah, like she just it's crazy to think that if she gets like stressed out or asked a question that she doesn't like, she blows up.
Yeah. I mean, I do that.
Rough stuff.
Like,
Yeah, no, I know. It's not even my mutant power. But then she admits, she wanted to know the truth. We haven't done it. In fact, I haven't done it with anybody. I couldn't if I wanted to. And they do a very funny cut where it cuts to, we interrupt this special famine relief bulletin. Just all these kids starving in the background to say that Venus de Milo is a virgin.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the person who takes it the hardest is Professor X.
I mean, I know he was already wearing the black before he saw this, but he would have definitely changed, right? Like, he would have definitely changed into the black if he had seen this and he wasn't wearing that.
Imagine like Jean Grey asking why he's wearing a black armband. He's just like, "Well, my child."
There's a secret that has been revealed, and she's like, okay, maybe you should keep this one to yourself. Guy Smith shows up in Professor Xavier's office, and he's kind of freaking out a little bit. We could tell because the first thing he says is like, maybe you should watch Seinfeld. And then he goes on to say that has post X-Statix withdrawal syndrome. And he's just completely out of it, and he's there to demand that Xavier make him a new suit.
Yeah. Basically wanted to cut everything off. Like, he doesn't want to feel anything. He says he wants to be Mr. Insensitive. Xavier presses an alarm button because Xavier notices that he has cuts on his face at the same place where a bad guy got his cuts.
Yes.
He says he cut himself shaving, but that is not true.
This button summons Brian Posehn, the scientist, as well as some guys. Who are these X guys?
Yeah, they're just the weird like 70s science guys.
Yeah, like
who show up.
Just like random henchmen. Like, what are we doing? Like, we've never seen Xavier have henchmen before. Like, he has a team.
The Y-Man.
Yeah, where was Cyclops at? Was he busy? Would he do like Are these just multiple men cast-offs? What are we doing?
Oh man, the idea of getting multiple, like, they're multiple man, that would have been great. Instead, they're just fellas that Xavier hires, local workmen.
Hey, fella.
Hey, fella. But he says this is an X-Statix problem now.
Yeah.
He lets him go because he doesn't want Mr. Sensitive to kill his normal men. And we cut over to Venus de Milo waking up from a nightmare.
Yes.
In her like nude suit.
Yeah, so this is like her bedtime suit, which is just an all red suit with weird ears on them. And she's been kind of stressed out because she's been trying to find her family in the dimension that Xavier is convinced her that she has warped them to, but she hasn't been able to do it. Instead, she brought back something last time, but we don't really know what it is. But he brought back something weird, and she's been feeling kind of suspect about it ever since. She decides to take a walk and runs into Dupe, who is just out there recording for no reason.
Yep, just recording her nude,
of course,
and runs into Spike and Tyke. And she interrupts this conversation where Spike is telling Tyke that he should be the new leader. Like, we don't want to wait until we take out Guy. We're going to make you official tomorrow.
Yeah.
And obviously she has a problem with this. She likes Guy Smith. And Tyke interrupts her and says, hey, if you hadn't cut me off, you would have heard me say no. This whole stuff with Guy has to be taken care of first, and then I'll be the leader. I love Spike, trying to play ball with him. Like, sure, bro. Word. I can dig that.
Thank you, Mr. White Man. And Venus de Milo says, thank you. I appreciate this. And he's like, I'm not doing this for you. Like, he was my friend. Like, we watched people die together. We fought together. Like, we're, we may have to eliminate him, but I'm not going to steal the man's job. Like, I still consider him a friend. I'm not going to just steal his job out from under him when I don't know for sure.
Yeah. And just again, bringing up the specter of taking him out. We cut over to kind of our B plot here where we have Solomon O'Sullivan, and his the writing that's on his chest is now coming up in code, in equations and encryption and stuff. And he's just like, yeah, this feels really weird. This just spoiler. This I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah, I don't get this at all. Like, and it doesn't
even having read the arc.
The dude dies here in a few issues. So what do we even care? But I also really like his question mark on his little mail trail, though. That's, got the Riddler tattoo going down to heaven. You know what I'm saying?
the Riddler tattoo right above your genital is a bold move.
It's huge. Huge. He's super stressed out about this. Shannon?
No, Sharon Ginsburg.
Sharon is still there. Sharon is our mutant lawyer. She has wings, and she's hanging out in her underwear in this townhouse when she says hey, we're gonna go get bad guy, and we're gonna put him on our team, and we're going to we're gonna get our revenge on the X-Statix by doing this. And he's like, well, how are you gonna get him? And she explains that she's been offering wing jobs, I guess is the only way to wing jobs to one of the guys that runs a tracking system that's used by X-Statix.
And keep in mind, as a reminder, her wings are just skin.
Yeah.
It's real weird.
Sure.
And it's got to be wing jobs. There's nothing else that she could be doing with her wings that I can think of that's perving this dude out.
Well,
so
I mean, they are spiky. So
she could be just puncturing his skin or sounding or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
With wingtips.
Or maybe just oiling him up and just rubbing him all over him. You know what I'm saying? I guess I have a wing thing, Gary. I'm sorry.
I think that would be a wing job. I think if you get oiled up and rubbed by some wings, I think that's a wing job as well.
The wing guru massage.
Yeah. I think we mentioned this last time. I'm so glad I don't have wings.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how hard it would be to sleep?
Dude, you'd have to be sleeping on your belly all the time. I hate sleeping on my belly. Can't do that.
All the time?
All the time.
Yeah, your back would just hurt all the time.
It's probably the way you feel women feel because they have if they have larger breasts. It's just constant back pain, except you'd just be having constant chest pain because they're just weighing you down on the other side. I'm sure your body would grow muscles to cope with that, but it would still it's still not just night having wings. You know what I'm saying?
I just I don't like the idea of fully 1/4 of my sleeping positions being taken away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem right to me.
I'm trying to think,
I wouldn't trade that for the ability to fly.
Also, sitting in chairs.
Sure.
Sitting on a couch,
chair, standing on a subway. Couches.
Forget about it, dude.
Yeah, all that stuff would be incredibly difficult.
You think an Uber's going to let you in their car? They just vacuumed back there.
No,
they don't know what those wings
do.
It's not
Uber XL enough to get you in there.
It's no, thank you.
Fuck a wing.
We go over to Professor X, where Venus de Milo is visiting, and basically they're talking about this thing that she brought back, which is in a protective tube in Xavier's science lab. But he doesn't really want to talk about that. He wants to talk about hey, I saw you tell everybody in the world that you're a virgin. You want that suit yet? You want that suit?
Yeah. Can I address that for you, please? There's this great little bit where she's like, yeah, now that Brittany has gone over, because you remember that was a big deal when she said she was a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that she's been offered a small fortune to cover a virgin. and said she'd do it if the Neptunes produce.
Yeah, really cementing this in a time and place.
So he brings up the suit again, and she's like, I didn't talk about the fucking suit. Like, I didn't come here for that for once in your life.
Please stop pushing this suit on me. I'll come to you when I'm ready.
Yeah. And she brings up Guy, and he mentions that he came to see her. Basically he says, like, he seemed desperate and scared. You're his only chance. Like, try to get him alone and try to persuade him to stop being a bad guy.
But he does tell her that he had the scratch marks on his face, just like Dead Girl gave the bad guy. And he says, you have to do this. And she says, for X-Statix. And she says, no, for you. We go over to the lawyer with wings, who is coming down to find bad guy and basically saying, like, hey, I'm a lawyer, Sharon Ginsburg. I'm a mutant, and I want to cut a deal. Like, let's do some work together. Let's be business pals. And over at the X-Statix headquarters, I've already forgotten her name. Lacuna is doing the same thing with X-Statix, being like, hey, we can do this, and then we can have like a special episode on my show, and it'll be a huge deal. It's a win-win situation for everybody. Like, I'll get numbers, you guys will get publicity. This will be great.
Well, and you'll figure out whether he is Guy Smith. Yeah. Like, I might take off his mask, So, we cut over to where they're doing that, and they're kind of, doing the relationship between Dead Girl and Venus de Milo. They're kind of sniping at each other as they go into this food court here. And one of the suits stops Lacuna from doing that. They're like defenses. Yeah. And, because they can't figure out if it's really Guy, Venus decides to play her card here and teleports Guy, or, bad guy, and herself away. Yeah. Alone. She thinks it's a good idea to talk to Guy Smith. It turns out this is a bad idea. As we cut over, there's a lot of like great little panel or like page turn things in this. I love, we get the scene of Solomon O'Sullivan getting drunk on the floor, trying to learn his code, reading all these Marvel Universe things like Tony Stark armor instructions and Skrull Phonetics Volume 5.
Skrull Phonetics is a great bit. I love that a whole lot.
Like a good magazine.
Reed Richards has to have a couple, or probably wrote a couple of those, right? Like he's all in on this.
Publishes that. Yeah. And all the writing on his chest kind of contorts to say that Guy Smith is not bad guy. There's a really weird, it says it in smaller font above his nipple, and the nipple looks like a little smiley face.
Yep.
And it's real weird.
It's a very weird looking nipple.
Not bad guy nipple.
You know things have gotten bad when you're on the floor getting drunk with pajama pants and socks loosely on your feet. Like, that's how you know.
Yeah.
Like, you're not rock bottom yet, but you know what I'm saying. You're well on your way. So
this is either a good Christmas morning or a bad any other day morning that he's having.
When we flip the page, we see Guy driving somewhere. We don't know where. We see trees in the background, but then on the next panel we see Venus de Milo and bad guy confronting one another, and then on the third section of the page we see Xavier and Brian Posehn. Cannot believe this is just Brian Posehn just like hanging out, like
with gills.
Super fucking
like
weird.
What if Brian Posehn could breathe underwater? Can you imagine the power?
God, the comedy sketches, dude. I could just imagine. He'd be roasting Aquaman constantly.
But this is where Xavier figures out like the little shell thing was not actually the creature. They don't have a dead creature, they just have its shell. And that the creature that came over from the dark dimension is what is wearing the suits.
Yes.
Again, very cinematic. Like, after this, it cuts over to an alley where Sharon Ginsburg has had one of her wings ripped off.
Yes.
Is lying in a pool of her own blood.
Both of her wings ripped off.
Oh yeah. There we go.
And then the caption is just, I know you don't want to hurt me, which is colored in Venus's text box style, where she is trying to get through to what she believes is Guy, and saying, she brought him back to this cabin where she sent her family into another dimension because, like, just to make her feel more comfortable, to make him feel more comfortable. And she's asking him, like, hey, take off the suit, just talk to me. Xavier can help you. He helped all of us. And then he takes off his helmet, and she's surprised, and it's very obviously not Guy, based on the color of his ear, which is all we can see, and it says to be concluded. Yeah,
it's the reveal.
Yep.
One of the things I wanted to bring up, we brought this up throughout this issue, and we brought it up the last couple episodes, but one of the things I really love about how Mike Allred and Peter Milligan work together are the way they do those page reveals
Mm-hmm.
like that. I'm reading the Jason Aaron Wolverine run in my spare time, and he's really good at that as well. But there are so many comics I've read where like the person, they don't do anything with that.
Mm-hmm.
But this ends up feeling extremely cinematic. The way they have the dialogue overlapping pages, you'll have like voiceover, come in.
Yeah.
Before, they'll show Sharon Ginsburg and then have V.S. DeMilo's voice. It just feels extremely cinematic.
Yeah.
In a way that just shows a lot of craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's actually like kind of understanding the medium and like really using it in a way that some people just don't, like a well edited or well directed movie or TV show is. Like you could give all of the same tools that that guy that made Fargo has, and like you could make a clone of that wouldn't be anywhere near as good, just because you don't have the instinctual like ability to make those dramatic moments pop like that. Yeah,
it's really cool when somebody uses the medium.
Yeah.
There's also, as we mentioned a couple episodes ago, this is where the letters column pops in, which is basically there to troll people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this letter here from Marcus Vasilik from New York, who says, I've read Marvel for years and years. I enjoyed the comic X-Force. That is until you mutated it with those characters who had become X-Statix. They suck. And I have to say that the artwork of the comic looks like it was drawn by somebody who had stuck a pencil up their nostril. The art is horrible. I know children who are in kindergarten who can draw better than this. Please bring back Cannonball and the crew. They deserve their book back. And please bury the X-Statix crew. Put them out of their misery. And the editorial response is that you, Mark Marlar? Which I think is very funny.
Extremely funny to me, yeah.
So the letters column of this was very good as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of people complaining, a lot of them just not giving a shit about it. So,
yeah,
which is one of my favorite things.
Well, the book was a huge hit. Like it, it was like in Rolling Stone and everything like that. Like we talked about that. It's just there's some people who are just like, no, I gotta find out what Domino's up to.
I need to know what's happening to Guthrie.
Yeah. So that's it. This episode.
Yeah,
we're gonna get the conclusion of this arc next episode.
Yep. Until then, if you want to support this show and the network, you can go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and pledge a couple of bucks per month. Get all kinds of exclusive benefits for doing so. So go check all of those out. You can leave ratings and reviews if you'd like to. Tell your friends about the podcast. All of that good stuff. We're on Twitter, but we hardly ever tweet. So just go to @DOFC Podcast if you want to talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Individually, we're on Twitter and we tweet more.
That's true. I've been tweeting gifs of my wife cooking, so that's fun. I don't know if that's the kind of content you're looking for.
Holla, perverts. I'm
gonna try to put it together for the next Duck stream, so we can do a segment, like an autumn cooking segment, which I think would be
that'd be awesome.
I think it would be super cool.
That'd be incredible.
I don't know like anything about doing that, so like I'm scared I'm gonna have to buy like $5,000 worth of cameras and like hang them for my ceiling or something. Like it's ridiculous. So
yeah. It'll be worth it.
Well, I would just I'm going to make you guys pay for my $5,000 for the cameras so I can stream 2 hours on Duck Stream.
Well, Cole needs his rest, so it's worth it. Kidding.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.